All right, it's April 11th, 2020. I'm walking through that rich neighborhood again, and it's got a lot of hills. I don't know why rich people are on hills. I don't know why they do that to themselves. Well, I guess they're not walking. They're riding. You remember those, those like old school bikes from like the 1800s where people wore monocles and top hats and the front of the bike was super high? It was like a giraffe neck, and then they had the two in the back. Those are the types of bikes that I picture people riding here. Oh shit, give me a sec. Okay, so I don't know how many days it's been since I started not writing comedy and not thinking about comedy in an analytical way. I don't know how many days it's been because time means nothing to me anymore. And I know I've been making that joke a lot recently, but like, it's not a joke. Like, I don't know what the fuck. I don't even, like, I literally don't know what day it is right now. It's Saturday. Okay. So I don't know how long ago I started doing this, but my plan is to keep not thinking about comedy analytically, focusing more on myself and just not writing for as long as it seems to be making me happy, as long as it seems to be working. If this podcast has taught me anything, I keep saying I have like catchphrases, man. I have a lot of catchphrases, a lot of isms. Anyway, one of the things I've learned from this podcast is that I'll do something for a while and it'll be working, and then it stops working, or I get in a negative place. I'm not feeling good for whatever reason, whether it's environmental or personal, like internally. There you go. Environmentally or internally, I'll feel a shift, and it's usually a negative shift. When that happens, I have to like pivot in a bunch of different ways, and I have to try to figure out what's going on, what's changed, and how I can get back to a place of at least mild comfort or happiness, ideally, and then I go that direction, and then I kind of go up a notch, I evolve a bit. You know, so whatever this next pivot I make, I think my prediction is that I've become a science experiment on myself, apparently, like an anthropologic science experiment. Fuck me. But, yeah, my plan is, my prediction is I'm going to pivot in this way, and then later down the road, something else is going to happen in life, and I'm going to have to pivot in another direction. But the pivoting right now, yeah, working on myself, not working on comedy. So I haven't been thinking about comedy to the best of my ability. I actually have triggers, apparently. Like, if I start getting bored, I think about writing a joke. When I'm in a small space, I think about writing a joke. If I'm in a situation where I can't like move around a lot, I think about writing a joke. When I'm in the shower, that's all I think about. So I have like specific triggers I've trained myself inadvertently to start click when I'm in those situations. So I'm thinking, and even right now, God damn it, no, stop it, no, you goddamn robot, this isn't fucking Ex Machina, no, I'm not, no. All right, I'm not going to analyze this. This isn't a fucking break. This isn't a wisecrack breakdown. I'm not analyzing this. I'm just going to say what the fuck I'm thinking. Jesus Christ. Fucking autistic maniac. Some Hannibal Lecter shit. I shouldn't be thinking about things like it's like I'm playing a chess game with myself. Okay, so what I've noticed is I just haven't been thinking about comedy. I've just been fucking hanging out, and I feel way more relaxed. I'm chilling. I'm less anxious. I don't get me wrong. I still get angry about shit, and I still get anxious. But I'm chilling, and I'm more aggressive with people. Like, I've been listening to more Patrice O'Neal, and now listening with a fresh perspective. What I've been doing is switching everything he's saying about women. Like, every time he's talking and giving advice, it's usually under the umbrella of relationships. and women, or bitches or hoes, as he would put it. And so what I've done is just replaced women with human beings, and I've just been taking in the advice and ignoring the relationship sexual part of it. And I actually like it a lot. One of the things I was listening to is he's talking about how you shouldn't self-edit. And so I've been doing that because, I mean, I can. Like, I don't really need to talk to anybody, so I just haven't been. I've been working on not editing myself and just speaking, I don't know, whatever the fuck is on my mind. And what I realized is I do come off more aggressive, but I'm not like, boy, I'm not, it's not from a malicious place. Like, I think I rub people the wrong way because when I'm talking about something, I'm passionate about it, and I put like energy into it because it's more fun that way. And then if you give it like, I don't know, an hour, even less than that, all of that energy will subside and we'll go back to normal. Like, I'm not taking the situation all that seriously, but it comes off that way. Like, we did a buddy cast today with Alec Damani. I miss him as much as frustrated as he makes me. I miss talking to him, and I think it probably shows in the podcast, but I think we're going to post that soon. So listen to this and then listen to the buddy cast to get some context. But in that conversation, first off, we have a lot of rapport together. We're friends. We've known each other for years now. So I can be aggressive with him, and I'm sure I come off like a complete asshole at times during that podcast, like a pompous fuck. And I think what I used to do was I give a shit about people's feel. I kind of don't care what people think about me at this point. Like, if you think that I'm a bad person, or if you think, you don't like me or I'm annoying, fair enough. I can see that. You're not unjustified in your feelings. I support your feelings that are negative about me. But I don't care about what people think, but I do care about how people feel. Like, because fucking suffering and shit. No, because nobody gave a fuck about how I felt as a kid. I hold a lot of stake in people's emotions. So what I would end up doing is I would have a conversation, and then within the conversation, I would tell people, I would partially self-edit. Like, I would be myself up until a point, and then I would try to like rein it in, because I started to realize, like, oh fuck, I'm like really pissing this. Oh shit, yo. I walked down a different road. I'm lost again. I walked down a different road, and there is a fucking RV that is bigger than the garage that I'm living in. Is way more comfortable, I'm sure. I feel like a band lives here. Like, this looks like Bert Kreischer's RV, except doesn't have his fucking face slapped over it. That shit's wild. Damn. That house must be creepy as fuck. What the fuck, Aaliyah? And there's a lot of like vermins out here. So Aaliyah's been freaking out this whole walk. What was I saying? I was saying words. God damn it. Fucking God, you crazy animal. All right. Aggressive, yeah. So, like, when you hear me in the podcast, you can hear that, like, the gloves are off. I definitely said some shit that was not appropriate and not very nice. But it was easier for me to, like, rein it back in immediately afterwards because I just let loose. Like, I was just being me and fucking around. And sometimes I can be pompous, and part of that is a joke, and part of that is because I'm fucking pompous, and I know that. And so I think that what it's allowed me to do is I have the tools to defend myself a little better. Like, growing up, I've reiterated this a lot, I just wasn't given the comedic tools or the self-confidence tools. I wasn't taught that. So if people were talking shit, I just didn't have any way to come back. And I didn't want to hurt people. I didn't want to fight anybody. I didn't want to be violent. But over time, that builds up, and you just become an angry, frustrated person. And you assume negative intentions initially, because that's, for your own safety almost. And so now I have the comedic tools that, like, all of this time of meticulously tearing apart comedy has given me a lot of comedic tools to work with. So I understand the concept of comedy, and now because I'm focusing more on working on just being myself and now writing jokes, I can use those tools in being myself a little more. And I think it really shows in the podcast. It's aggressive and it's fucking mean, but I think he knows that not only do I think he knows, I am certain he is aware that I don't mean any ill intent. And I think that's what I've always been concerned about when talking with people, is like, I want people to understand, like, I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. I know I sound mean, or I sound aggressive, or I sound like I'm not getting a joke or whatever. But, like, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. You know what I mean? And he seems to be aware of that. There was one point where I was like, yeah, I even apologized right afterwards. I was like, that's some over-the-line shit I just said. But, yeah. So, like, now that I have the tools to defend myself a little better, I feel more comfortable. Comedic tools. Like, I don't think all of this has been a waste. I know I just complained about myself going into, like, robot mode. But all of that work and understanding the comedy and its minutia, I think, has helped me, and just in life in general. So yeah, holding back or pulling punches seems to throw me off. Like, it's too much process. And I think it makes things awkward. Like I don't know. It throws off my comedic timing. It throws off my conversational timing. So I think I'm going to keep working on just kind of speaking my mind and not doing as much self-editing. Obviously within reason. I'm not going to go into a business conference, my dick hanging out and talking about, NWA and shit. Well, there you go. Well, another thing I was listening to from Patrice was he was talking about, relationships and women. That whole thing that sent him to jail for those 6 months really fucked him up mentally when it comes to women. Like, I don't want to be some, like, fucking SJW feminist dickhead, but he really takes it to a point of, like overgeneralized absurdity. He really has generalized women. He put women in, like, a little box, and he's put men in a little box. And I don't know what he'd be like today. I would really, it makes me so sad to think about that, like what he could have been today. But I really would have loved to hear his opinion of things now. And I think that would have been a little more nuanced. But either way, he was talking about it from, like, a relationship perspective, but all I did was listen to it in a more general perspective, more about myself than having a partner in any way. But he said your feelings are paramount. Your feelings are the most important thing. Hold on a second. All right, well, in case I fucking die, it needs to at least be recorded. This place is creepy. This neighborhood's creepy as fuck. It's like too wide. It's too big. I was living in a studio apartment. Now I'm whispering. Fuck. I was living in a studio apartment with Jonathan, basically his girlfriend, and a wild animal like a wolf. And it felt more comfortable than this walk down the street. It's like there's too much space. And I am super lost right now. Oh shit, hold up. No, for real though. Like, I'm for real lost right now. I've been here before. Okay, going backwards. Oh shit. I should just memorize the cars. Like, who has the nicest car, and those will be my checkpoints to how to get out of this fucking maze. Anyway, Patrice, and there was something I have it written down here. Oh, your feelings are paramount. Yeah, so I'm trying to, like, keep that in mind, that, like, I still give a shit about how people feel, and I want to make sure people understand I'm not out to be malicious. even when I'm coming off like a complete asshole and I recognize that, or someone who's like pompous, like during the podcast, I think I called George and Damani, I called them fucking idiots for disagreeing with me. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know what I'm talking about. George is probably right. You'll listen to the podcast and you'll understand what I'm talking about, like the context of it. We were talking about time. He's probably right. He threw out some shit that I was like, I didn't know that. But I'm sticking to my guns. Fuck you. I'm going to look into it. Time dilation. Anyway. Like there's points where I tell Damani to shut the fuck up and he's being a bitch and all that stuff. And that's like, oh, hold up a second. Okay. That's part of my personality that I push down a lot because I want to make it clear to people that I'm not trying to fucking hurt anyone's feelings. And I think in doing that, it just makes situations awkward. So I'm probably going to work on that. And the other thing I was thinking of was, I don't know if I talked about Pete Davidson before. I'm going to save Pete Davidson for another podcast. Code switching. If you don't know what code switching is, so you know how you're probably listening to me. If you don't know me, you're probably thinking, no, he talks white. That's one way I speak. And then if I were to, air quotes, talk black, that'd be code switching. That kind of sums it up and briefly. So one of the things I've realized is like the way I speak is the way it's like the way I'm talking right now is natural. It's natural to me. This is how I speak. But the code switching thing, the speaking more black or whatever the fuck you want to call it, is another thing that I do naturally as well under certain contexts. And I've been living around old white people for so long. And I've had to mold the way I behave to make them feel comfortable for so long that it's fucked with the way I speak naturally. It's weird, man. Like when I was hanging out with Damani today, I could feel like, oh shit, the other way I speak is coming out a little bit. And that's a good feel. It's liberating. It feels like, this feels natural. Like if you listen to my family, my family's all from, so I have a weird connection with, I don't know, with race or whatever, because my family, race and class, my family was not exactly an upper class family. They came from the East Coast. They came from Baltimore, Maryland. And they weren't rich. They worked really hard, and, they've instilled that onto me to work really hard. But you can hear, like when my mom gets angry or excited or she's talking to her girlfriends, she goes from the way I'm speaking right now, like this is how she would speak, to, girl, like it's weird. And I do that too sometimes, and it throws people off. And so I'm going to have to work on like speaking, not naturally, but allowing myself to also speak the way I do naturally speak. It's weird. This is a new thing I'm thinking about. I don't know how to articulate it at all. Yeah, I don't know. If anyone's listening, you're not gonna fucking email it. I'm not even gonna ask you fucking guys. So anyway, the last thing I'll say on all of this is I am, working on myself is important. Yeah, self-improvement, self-love, all that cute shit. But I don't know what this says about me, but it's still in the service of stand-up comedy. Like the only reason I'm like, I need to work on myself so I can be a better comedian. Like that's the only reason I'm doing this. But whatever my intentions are, what my reasons are for doing this, doesn't change that I'm doing it. So I think this is going to change the way I write a bit. I still want to keep that structure, that narrative structure, because I just, artistically speaking, I just like that. But I think I'm going to loosen up the way I think about jokes. Like, I've been able to be funnier recently. I don't come off so self-important, I don't think, as much. And I don't come off like I'm taking things too seriously. Like I think I can come off like I really take everything, including myself, too seriously when I don't. I'm actually a pretty silly person. So I think when I write, I'll be able to click more into this mindset. But I don't know what the mindset is yet. I got to keep living this way and not thinking about comedy for a while and let whatever my new thought process is seep in a bit. So, yeah, I mean, I already feel better. I don't know. I feel more comfortable. I think that's a good thing. So I'm just going to trust my instincts on this one. Okay. I'm recording right now because, and I'm not bullshitting, something weird's happening. So, yeah. Excuse me. Hi. I'm a little lost. How do I get out of here?
Oh, you're fine. If you go up the street and like follow it, and then make a right, onto I think Overlook.
Okay.
Keep going. You want to get to Cannon.
Cannon. Okay.
Cannon Road, and Cannon will take you to Alessandra.
Okay. Overlook Cannon, Alessandra.
Should be, yeah. So just follow the curve. I mean, you don't go into that cul-de-sac on the right. You're gonna pass a really nice house with a turf, and then make a right, and then keep going. It'll be on your right-hand side. Will be Cannon.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Have a good night. Okay. You know what? Okay. So, I'm gonna say that experience, whatever you just heard. I don't know if you could hear it or not. We'll find out later. But I'm gonna tell you my experience with that. Now, take what I say with a grain of salt. I'm biased. This is my experience. This is how I view the world. If you listen to that conversation and you hear something different, it's totally fine. I'll preface that. So I'm walking down. I'm actually lost. Like I, for real, do not know how to get out of here. And this, and I can't reiterate this enough. This place is very, very nice, and it's like I don't belong here. Without, in so many words, I very clearly don't belong here. It's nighttime. Yeah, and this is coupled with my past experiences. So this is, for me, this is an instinct of survival. So this is what I mean by the way I speak. So I'm here and I look the way I look. Like if you know what I look like, go check me out on Instagram, Aaron Chase 91. That's my promotion for myself. But look me up on Instagram if you don't know what I look like. That cartoon doesn't do it justice. And imagine I'm walking down the street and you don't know me. And I'm not smiling. It's dark. I have a hoodie on. My locks are down. I don't have this shit in a bun right now. I'm not using a man bun at the moment. And like I look like someone that could be shady from someone's perspective. And I'm walking in this neighborhood, like I clearly am not living from this neighborhood. And so this lady comes outside, looks like scared of me, seems to be uncomfortable with my presence, runs back in the house. And they have those glass houses. I don't know why they do that. It's so weird to me. But they have these glass houses, so I can see inside the house. And she's talking to somebody, and she runs back out real fast. And I'm like, all right, I know, like I've been in this situation my entire, like I know how to make sure that I am safe. The only thing that's gonna make me safe, if for whatever reason, first off, I shouldn't even have to be clarifying, and there's a word for it, but I shouldn't have to clarify that. Like, I recognize that maybe I'm misinterpreting intent. I understand whoever's listening that may be like, bro, you're taking this way out of proportion, bro, like it doesn't even seem like it was a big deal, bro. Like if you're thinking that, I understand. I get that. This is what makes me feel fucking crazy, because I've just been around white people all like my entire life, and every time I bring up shit like this, they're in your fucking ear. They're like, bro, I don't know, you over exaggerating, bro. This isn't fucking 1993, bro. Anyway, so I know how to make sure, like how to guarantee that I will be safe. My safety depends on her feeling safe. The only way I can make her feel safe right now is through my voice and the way I speak. So I have to like make sure my voice is a little higher. I have to enunciate things a little better. And I have to make sure that like she knows like, hey, it's okay. All right. It's like going up to a little chihuahua that seems like antsy and is concerned with you, and having to go up to it and be like, hey, okay, little buddy, don't worry. I'm on your side. That's how it feels. And that's what I mean. Like, if I spoke the way, oh shit, dude, I don't know where the fuck I'm at. If I spoke the way that I spoke around Damani, oh shit. No, but like for real, I don't know where I am. I don't want to do a circle again. This is a really big neighborhood. I guess we'll see what happens. But if I spoke the way I was speaking to Damani, minus all the cursing and niggas, you know, I would, if I came up and was like, what's up, nigga? Look, like, all right, fair enough on her being uncomfortable with it. But like if I was talking with Damani the way if I was talking with her the way I was talking with Damani, and I can't, it's weird, like I can't even click into that right now. It's so weird, man. It feels like for real brainwashing. But if I was able to talk to Damani, talk to her the way I was talking to Damani, I genuinely think that maybe the cops would have been getting called and they would have come to this neighborhood. And it's like, it's fucking terrifying. Like, it's really scary because I know nobody's out here. I'm speaking pretty loud. Nobody's out here. And if I don't get a chance before they pull me over, like if I don't get a chance to speak, if I don't get a chance to be like, hey, whoa, listen to what I'm speaking, like, you're good, you are safe. If I don't make sure that they feel safe and they feel comfortable, my life is in danger. Is that clicking with anybody? Is anybody listening and thinking like, oh, that's kind of fucked up? That like I have to make sure, like I should not have to make the people who are supposed to make me safe, like I shouldn't have to make them feel safe for me to feel safe. I should just feel safe. Am I clicking with people? Are we on the same page? You get the dealio? You get what I'm saying? Where the fuck am I? So yeah, I don't know how the beginning of this is going to sound, but that's a really good example of like why I speak the way I do and why I don't feel like why when, I don't know, man, I gotta figure out my feelings. Also, I also again will reiterate, I do recognize that maybe that lady was perfectly reasonable. None of that had anything to do with me, and she just happened to run inside. That's also totally a possibility. But I've had too many negative encounters and too many close calls, too many scary experiences to take that chance. Is not worth it, especially in this situation. The end.